Okay, so in the previous video, what we did was we got our points to update for other clients, including the server. So for example, we had a client one, we had the points displayed for every client on the bottom right, at least of the server, because the client's portion's not working on that, but everything else seems to be. Then whenever the client would purchase a weapon, their points would go down, and then the points would get whenever the server made a change to their points, such as shooting a zombie or buying something, they would also see both their points and the client's points change. So now what we want to do is we want to make it update live. So whenever, a client like gets a kill or purchases something, we want all the other clients to see their new value of points. So that's what we're going to do. So let's head over to Visual Studio. I need to point out that I did make a slight change because I had tried this a previous way before and I was not happy with it. So if we head over to Nazi Zombie Player State, we have this event up here, this top one that was called like F points changed, and it was a dynamic multicast delegate 1 param. We're changing that to simply just a normal multicast delegate, no parameters, calling it F on points changed, and renaming it down here to just on points changed. So anywhere where we have on points changed or the new points dot broadcast, we just change it to on points changed dot broadcast with no parameters. So on rep, increment points, decrement points, and yeah, that's it. So that's good to go. Now, what we want to do is I've already compiled, so I'm going to go ahead and close the editor down. What I was thinking about doing was creating a simple timer that every X, milliseconds, it simply triggers the event to fire. That way, instead of doing it via an on rep, which for some reason does not actually seem to work, which I'll show you here in a minute, I want to make it so every time the timer fires, so like every, let's say, 100 milliseconds, so like 0.1 seconds, the event gets called. And every time that event gets called, it goes through and it updates the points because we already have that functionality set up for that event. So here I'm just going to give you an example with the on rep. So hopefully it'll show the, dang it, show the clients. There it goes. It shows all three this time. So I purchased the M1 carbine and it updates for the host, but not the clients. But if I go and I purchase the M1 carbine or the STG, as you can see, it now shows on this client that I'm moving 3,800 for the host, which is, I mean, not 3,800, 3,800 for the client and 4,400 for the server and 5,000, which is the default value for the third client, which is this guy. So now if I buy ammo on the server, my points go down to 4,200. And so I got to update it on here. It should go from 38 or 4,400 to 4,200, and it does. So it updates, but it's like the on rep is not firing. So not entirely sure why that is. I think it's probably because the way we have our own point set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply remove the on rep. So it's, well, no longer an on rep. Go to our player state.h, our on rep function declaration, and just set this to replicated, like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a timer. Get rid of this on rep here as well. I can also get rid of the has authority checks. What I'm going to do is in begin play, which we do not have, so let's create that. Make a protected section, virtual void, begin play. We're going to override it. Create the implementation. Let's call super. Begin play. We're going to create a timer. So f timer handle t points update get world. get timer manager, set timer, t points update, this, a Nazi zombie player state, and we need to create a function for it to call, because I don't know if we can set it up to call an event. Can we? Let's try f or on points change to see what happens. And the delay, so 0. Let's actually do 0.1 should be fast enough. And we'll do a 5. Just speed it up. And then true because we want it to loop. Okay, so that does have an issue. I kind of had a hunch. So we're going to create a, do we have a function for this? No. We're going to create a public function called update points, just in case that decides to be called from anywhere. So void update points widget. Let's actually go ahead and make that a U function. Blueprint callable. I'm trying to think of anywhere where I might call this from Blueprint. This seems like one of those valuable ones that I might. And of course, it put it down here. Here we have our update points. All this is simply going to do. Let's actually timer up to it. So a Nazi zombie player state, update points widget. Inside of here, all we're going to do is on points change dot broadcast, and that's it. Make sure that's still correct. And that is, I think, it. So all we do is an on begin play, we set a timer that loops and calls on or update points widget. And inside of that, all we're doing is firing an event, which is on points changed. So by the way, after you make the changes to the delegate up here, you have to also delete, and rebind them because you changed the names. But if you made it this far, that should be pretty self-explanatory, unless you're just literally copying and pasting everything. All right, there we go. Now let's see what happens. Hopefully it fires everything. And hopefully it actually shows the widget on all clients, which it does. So we have 5,000. I buy it on the server, and it gets updated on the rest of the clients. By STG, gets updated on the other clients and the server. I'm going to spend all my points. Now I have none. So that's working. So, as always, if you like what I'm doing, feel free to, my Patreon's linked in the description below. And if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join the Discord server and ask away. And as always, I will see you in the next one. So we're going to probably continue improving on it in the next one, by the way. So yeah, I'll see you then.